Okay, we got it. Reacts today, probably 3 videos. The only streamer that cares, Joe Bart video. So let's watch it. I've been told I look like Joe Bart many a times before. When I first started streaming, everyone told me I look like Joe Bart, and I figured out who he was maybe about a year ago. So I like him. Pretty cool guy. So we're gonna watch this video, 24-minute video. Everyone lock in here. Original video. A lot of people have reacted to it by now. So only streamer who cares.
You know what the most important part of any live stream is? The chat. Every night, thousands of viewers pour into their favorite streamer's chat. Chat. Together, they decide what games get played, what videos get watched, and the streamers who keep them entertained get paid.
Am I any of your guys' favorite streamer? To the 3 people watching? I usually average about like 10 people. I think that's been my average through the past 2 months. Oh gosh. You keep us entertained? Appreciate that. I mean, I get a lot of people that consistently come back. You guys never really tell me what to do though. Like whatever I do, you guys would just usually go with it.
It sounds pretty easy, right? Just give the chat what it wants. The problem is, chat never wants just one thing. There's thousands of people all asking for something different.
We're the least demanding chat. That's definitely true. You guys don't ask for anything. We just, whatever I do, you guys go with it. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I need to start listening to my chat. Maybe more people join in.
No matter what you do, someone's unhappy. The biggest streamers learn to follow the majority and keep the party moving. Because stopping everything for one unhappy viewer is the cardinal sin of streaming. You don't leave 10,000 people hanging over a single name in the chat. But what happens when the needs of the one are a matter of life and death?
My girlfriend of 3 years took her own life in November of 2025. Losing my best friend and the person I love most in the world. I'm feeling like my life is no longer worth living, and I've been falling into a bad habit of drug addiction, leading me to on MDMA in December. I don't want to be here anymore.
This is Joe Bartolozzi, and he's one of the only streamers that stops everything when someone needs help.
If a chatter of mine is coming into my chat saying they're suicidal, I am first and foremost going to read their message.
But when you do this, when you make yourself the person people turn to at their lowest, you're also now the one who has to carry the weight of it. Because now you're surrounded by darkness.
Today I decided to end everything. Got a shotgun, can't find it in me to love myself.
Now you're giving away pieces of yourself to everyone around you.
People are genuinely asking me to fix their problems. I can't.
Now it feels like the whole world is on your shoulders.
Now I'm going, oh, if I stop posting, people are gonna start themselves.
That's a heavy weight to pick up.
I've never had anyone say they were gonna, kill themselves or nothing like crazy. I've had, I don't know. Croc, you might know him. Creek. He stops in here every once in a while. I mean, he's an average viewer. He's pretty chill. He told me that his girlfriend broke up and he asked for like advice what to do. I told him just don't chase women. It's not worth it. Like if they're clearly not wanting you back, it's just not worth it. That's like the only thing relatively even close to what Joe Bart deals with. I respect Joe Bart a lot. There's a lot that I don't agree that Joe Bart says, but that's going to happen with anyone.
And we wanted to know why.
Who is Joe Bartolozzi, and why do you care so deeply about some of the things that you do? Which is maybe a little deep for 10:30 in the morning, but...
No, it's all right.
Joe Bartolozzi was born on February 6th, 2002, and grew up in southern New Jersey. Joe wasn't the kid you have picked to become famous online. He was the small, quiet kid, the one getting picked last for everything.
I was kind of like the lanky kid that didn't really know how to control his body, so that's why I was picked last.
But by high school, things started turning around. He hit his growth spurt, got into lifting, and went from being the kid nobody picked to a legitimate athlete. So by 2019, Joe's a track athlete at a Catholic prep school in New Jersey, working part-time at a GNC, heading towards a completely normal life. And then a Chinese tech company bought a dying lip-syncing app.
TikTok is the latest app to capture the attention of teens and young adults across the world.
A Chinese company called ByteDance bought the relatively dead app Musical.ly. They gutted it, rebranded it, and on August 2nd, 2018, TikTok officially hit the App Store.
TikTok.
Now, early on, TikTok was mostly just the same creators who came over from Musical.ly. So all of those cringy lip-sync videos and the reputation that came...
TikTok was so bad. TikTok was so bad before, like, everything else. Now TikTok is a completely different thing from what it was in COVID. You know, TikTok is, like, honestly, very impressive what they've done.
With them carried straight over.
Going through your parents' divorce is more fun than going through TikTok.
For a while there, TikTok as a whole was pretty cringy.
Yeah, I used to get made fun of.
But even with that reputation, Joe figured he'd try it anyway. He posted his first TikTok in December of 2019, and it got a few hundred likes, which is nothing crazy, but it was enough to make him post another one, and another one, and he just kept going. Within a few months, he went from pointing at text on a screen to actually talking, ranting straight to the camera about whatever stupid thing pissed him off that day.
There's no looking left or right in the urinal at all times.
This is where Joe carved out his lane. He became the loud guy in the beanie who'd yell about people who drink sparkling water or crash out over some DIY tutorial.
The coffee pot's floating!
By the time COVID hit, TikTok was becoming a mainstream platform.
Does Joe have more followers on TikTok than he does anything else? Because I know on Twitch, doesn't he have like 3 million right now? I'm not sure. See, I found Joe from his Fears to Fathom videos. I think that was the first video I ever watched of his. Really good. He's a very captivating person. Dumb question, but why are his reacts different than others? To be honest, Joe's just himself. Well, I mean, I know I've seen a lot of the videos where he said like the whole TikTok thing was just an act to get likes and views. But like if you watch his reacts now, he's just himself, and that's what makes most of the creators the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have flashy editing. He doesn't have, you know, everything under the sun. But he's just himself, so that's why people appeal to him. He's just a nice guy, like, overall, you know? People say, oh, he's mean, he screams too much, everything like that. He's just a real person, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard. Like, I feel like you guys get what I'm saying. He's just a genuine person. He just is genuine online. He doesn't have an act.
Suddenly, TikTokers were performing at NBA halftime shows or hanging with the Kardashians. I mean, the D'Amelios were dropping a reality show on Hulu. It was the biggest app in the world, and Joe had gotten in early.
6 months after you started posting, if I'm not mistaken, you had over 1 million followers on TikTok.
2020 TikTok, you could literally post anything, and if it got any amount of views, half the people that saw it would follow you.
So now you've got a teenage guy,
true.
fresh out of high school, with millions of people watching his every move. But what do you think this does to a person?
It's not the same guys as like a Disney star, right? Because I was nowhere near that level. But it's just the idea of like, I was a teenager that's getting clout, and I think 99% of the time, that's bad.
And Joe was no exception. All of those views, all that attention that comes with internet fame, it went straight to his head.
I went from being a really insecure, it was like two polar opposites, right? And I had to find the medium. Like, I used to be really insecure when I was in like middle school, early high school, to a point where like I started working out, I started doing this, and then it went like full flop to like narcissism. And so it was like an obsession with myself because of insecurity that then inflated my ego to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm awesome.
And you can see it in the content from that era. The captions, the attitude, the way that he carried himself.
So this is my proposal for any women out there that would like to participate in the holiday but don't have anybody to assist them. I'm here.
This is the version of Joe that Joe doesn't like.
That person in that facade I had to do to create that character actually became me for a short period of time, and I hated it.
But as much as Joe hates this version of himself, he also kind of owes everything to him. Because that ego is what gave him the confidence and drive to start making bigger swings in his career. And when you're building yourself from the ground up, those two things can be the difference between success and failure. You see, everyone wants to start their own thing until they realize how much work starting actually takes. Building your website, setting up payments, all the boring stuff. And most people don't quit because the idea was bad. They quit because the setup got in the way. That's where WAP comes in. WAP lets you launch your entire online business from one place. Communities, digital products, or even services, whatever it is that you're building.
Are we in the middle of an ad right now? What the heck? Wait, is this part of the video? Because I'm about to skip this.
Start, head on over to WAP.com today.
Thanks, but I don't care. Get back to the video.
But now back to Joe and the business he was just starting to build. It started with diversifying his audience, because unlike YouTube or Twitch, your follower count is kind of empty on TikTok. You can have 1 million followers on there and make no money, because the platform simply doesn't pay its creators anything worthwhile.
Like, I was probably making like, what, 10K a year? I was making less than minimum wage.
So in the summer of 2020, just before starting his freshman year of college, Joe announced his first ever Twitch stream.
I'm gonna start streaming video games on Twitch in a day or two.
He started moving viewers from TikTok to Twitch, where he'd stream games like Rocket League and Fall Guys.
That's smart. That's what I'm actively trying to do. Is smart guy to pivot? Yeah, no, because like on TikTok you can get incredibly famous, but you're making no money. You're making absolutely nothing. But the thing is, you get a big following somewhere else and you go to YouTube or Twitch, boom, there's money, and you can roll off of that for a long time. And as we can see, Joe Bart is the perfect person to, go off. Like, does that make sense? Like, if you get famous somewhere else, you move to something you actually want to do, it's going to work. Literally any other channel would pay better. Yeah. That's actively what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, I got big on YouTube. I got lucky with YouTube. You can't just, most of the time, unless you have a big viral video, something that goes viral, but I've never had something go viral. I've had a couple of videos be on the For You page. But anyway, you can't just go viral, or you can't just get big off of YouTube or Twitch. You've got to grow somewhere else. That's just how it is. But I somehow got 2,000 followers from YouTube alone. That most of the time doesn't happen. I truly didn't have that much help. I was just making sports edits that got 2,000 views, every once in a while. And it slowly got me, subscribers. And I genuinely had a community there for a minute. I made a whole video on how I got into YouTube and stuff. I was on no other platforms but YouTube. That's what I'm currently trying to do. I'm trying to switch over to Twitch. And I'm slowly growing on Twitch. And now I'm obviously getting paid for it. I'm slowly growing. And Joe Bart has even said, he was famous on TikTok. Well, not famous, but, big following on TikTok. But when he moved over to Twitch, it was still slow climbing. Obviously it was faster than what I'm currently doing. I only have 2,000 followers on YouTube and, only 70 here on Twitch. It's slowly growing. Him was probably like 10 times faster than my current rate. But like, that's what you got to do to grow if you're wanting to go on YouTube or Twitch. You've got to grow somewhere else. I would say I was kind of lucky. I mean, obviously 2,000 followers is not a lot on YouTube, but like for nothing else, just simply keep uploading content. That's good for YouTube.
I got it!
Then he'd take the best moments from those streams and post them to YouTube. By fall of that year, Joe was juggling multiple TikTok uploads a day, streaming on Twitch, making YouTube content, all while managing his classwork in college.
What was the schedule like in college? There's so much going on. How do you manage that?
It was a lot. Like, balancing streaming and college sucked. But it was so doable. And I hate when streamers say, oh, I really needed to drop out to pursue streaming. Like, get the out of here. I was growing and in college the entire time.
Thank you for 3 million followers.
4 million followers.
By December, Joe had cleared
How
5
many
million
followers
on
does he have on TikTok now? I'm assuming TikTok is his biggest platform, right? Maybe he's YouTube. I know his YouTube just hit 5-point-something mil.
TikTok. And just a few months after his first stream, Joe was pulling in nearly 1,000 average viewers on Twitch.
Like, I was so obsessed with performance.
Joe was constantly studying social media, trying to understand what made videos pop, what people responded to, and why certain videos failed. That confidence had turned into a full-blown obsession. But
he's got 25+ million? Yeah, I'd say so.
Because of it, Joe was starting to not like the person he saw in the mirror.
I'm trying to map out where the ego kind of starts to disappear versus, like, was there a low point, a moment where you're like, holy, I gotta change?
Yeah, I don't think there was like an aha, right? It wasn't like a light switch flip. It was more over the span of like a 6-month period where I was like, I'm kind of being a dickhead.
Yeah.
Coupled with a variety of things. So I don't know if you can include this in the video. That's up to you. I tripped on mushrooms for the first time. Like, and I hate when people talk about like that being a genuine changing factor in their life, because it's like, okay, cornball, like that's what made you, really have that light switch. But I think it was a part of it, like it removed the grooves of life that I have gotten into, and it made me reset to a point where I had to kind of look in myself.
I wonder if someone will make a documentary about me one day like this. Joe already has I've seen 4 documentaries about him. I wonder if I'll ever have a documentary. If anyone wants to make a documentary of me, go a freaking head, bro. You can go ahead.
A lot of the people that I knew in philosophy classes as well were sharing ideas that, I may have heard but not resonated or understood.
You've never heard of Joe Bart? I know a lot of people haven't. I hadn't heard of him for a long time, till literally just maybe a year and a half ago. And that was mainly because when I started streaming, everyone was telling me I look like Joe Bart. And my cousin that I streamed with at the time told me I look like Joe Bart. And then I started watching him, and I was like, I don't really see it. I guess we're both blonde, but he's in a lot more shape than I am. Holy crap, let me tell you. But a lot of my friends tell me I look like him. I really enjoy it. I don't watch him as much as I used to. I really watched him a lot last summer. But I haven't watched him in a while. Is he the current Mount Rushmore of influencers? Yes.
Fully. It was so much like, wow, I'm going to die one day. I should kind of treat people in a way that's like, this is our only life. And I accredit my viewers a lot because in that time, parasocial relationships built a little bit, which is bad. But at the same time, there were people coming to me for the first time going, I want to kill myself.
You were chatting to your last streamer because you're ending it all. Whoa, 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 whoa.
If there was a moment of like lock in, it was that.
What happened? One of my subs just said he's gonna himself. Dude, do you need help?
Because I was going, yeah, even though I'm 19, you know, there are people that actually look up to me in a way that's like, I need to be better.
Life.
Yeah, it's because I think the reason Joe Bart is so, like, people do that a lot, and he's so easy to talk to is because he's younger, and he's just straight up. You know, he's just, it's almost like you just relate with him in every level, no matter what. It's kind of hard to explain, but, like, you know, I feel like every time he has interactions with chatters or anything, it's just like, whoa, have I known this guy for, like, 50 years? You know what I'm saying? Like, have I known this guy my entire life? Because, like, even if you just watch how he, like, interacts with people, it's almost like, you know, you would have thought they would have planned that beforehand. I don't know. I think that's why people just go to him like that and, you know, ask for help and say crazy stuff like that, is because, like, he's just easy to talk to, and, like, they just enjoy sitting there and watching his content and feel like they can just tell him that with no, you know, like, no walls up or anything.
The best thing that will ever happen, no matter how bad it can get, life is amazing.
Now, put yourself in that chair for a second. You're 19 years old. You started streaming to play video games, to have fun and make people laugh, and somebody you've never met just told you they're planning their own death. And out of everyone in their life, they picked you to tell.
I feel like no one cares and I want to end it all. I have a date planned, so you'll probably never see me again. I want to say you make me laugh a lot. I'm going to kill myself October 2nd. No one will remember me.
And this kept happening. Joe would go live, and sooner or later, somebody would show up in a genuine crisis, typing their darkest thoughts into a Twitch chat.
Don't want to be a mood killer. I just want to say my family basically bullies me every day and I can't get them to stop. I've been thinking about suicide a lot.
When Joe first started getting these messages from chatters, his initial response was the same as anyone with the hearts would be. He wanted to help. Both on stream and off of it, Joe took the time to talk with those viewers, getting to know them on a personal level and giving them real advice just like you would with a friend.
You guys mean the world to me. If you need help with something like that, I can try my best. So that's why I'm kind of chilling or pausing the stream for the last like 15 minutes to talk about this, because that's important.
But there's a harsh reality that all streamers have to learn eventually. Your viewers aren't your friends. They can't be.
I have had probably 20 people come to me about themselves, like on live. The first 2 times it's happened, I have tried to like help them, and then it just ended social towards me and then nonstop coming to me.
You see, the relationship between a streamer and a viewer is way more complicated than a normal friendship.
Oh,
when you spend
1000%.
hours watching someone through a screen, day after day, your brain starts doing something weird. You pick up their sense of humor, you learn their opinions, their moods, what makes them laugh and what sets them off. You come to know them the way you'd know a friend, except they have no idea you even exist. This is what's called a parasocial relationship, and it can be a dangerous thing.
Now a scary home invasion as 3 masked intruders with guns grab a popular influencer by the hair demanding money.
3 guys came into my room, turned all the lights on, and then they had the gun pointed at me.
While most parasocial relationships don't reach this level, there's always a possibility that it can.
3 popular Twitch streamers face a terrifying encounter while live streaming along the Santa Monica Pier.
I'll kill you right now. I'll kill you right now. If the streamer leans too far one way, they might come across as uninterested or cold, but lean too far the other, and viewers can mistake an occasional reply for friendship.
Please stop following me.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
getting
that's
weird.
so
It's getting
true.
strange. I don't know you, okay? So please.
I've seen a
leave me
lot of reactions like this. To be honest, that happens to me in real life. Someone's tweaking around me. Might genuinely just fight back at that point. I'm throwing hands. But if this genuinely were to happen to me, you just got to stay calm. You know, you got to be respectful to them, you know, show kindness. That's what you got to do. Now, obviously, if they're like threatening you or coming at you, you know, you understand the point, the human point to where you need to be like, all right, bro, back off. Or, all right, bro, you can be calm to them, de-escalate the situation, go on with your life. You know, there's a point. You know, it sucks that this happens to streamers. And there also are just crazy people out there. It sucks stuff like this happens. I think you can tell pretty quick someone's intent, 1,000%. Now, there's sometimes you can't, which sucks. That's why you always got to be cautious. That's why any relationship I've ever had with viewers, and most of the time it's just been friendships, I talk to them in small doses. You know? I mean, 2 of my viewers, one went off to college now, and me and him are still good buds. 2 of my viewers have become my editors because I trust them and I've talked to them for multiple months leading up. Shout out Croc. Viewers I've played video games with, but I've talked to them for multiple months. You got to figure out who they are. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, you can figure out someone's intent. But it sucks stuff like this happens. It really does.
Things can take a turn for the worst. Because now
I've
that
seen a lot of
attention
these
can turn
clips
into
1,000
expectation.
times.
And when the expectation of a response to the next chat isn't met, it can feel less like being ignored by a streamer and more like a betrayal by someone that they thought they knew.
See, I see people getting mad because they'll gift money, and then someone, let me restart there. I just had a stroke. I've seen like chatters get mad, not for me, but like other things, get mad because when they gift money in a message and a streamer doesn't read it. That is understandable, but at the same time, you can't go out and kill that streamer. That's crazy. But that is understandable to a point because you just wasted money on a guy you genuinely enjoy. You're trying to help him, and you want him to read your message. You know, you want that little bit of conversation right there. That's why for the few times I've been donated money, subs, bits, anything, I always show appreciation right there, even if I'm in the middle of a game. Or if I'm in a point where I can't talk, you know, playing a crazy game, I always go back and appreciate somebody. Because I hate that a lot of celebrities and a lot of streamers, even for the people that aren't even that big, you know, even for the people that only have like 10,000 followers, you know, it gets to their head and they're like, I don't need that person. You've always got to appreciate your fans, especially people that are gifting you money. Because if it weren't for those people watching you and everything and reposting you, liking, commenting, you wouldn't be where you are. That's how I always think about it, and that's how I always respect, especially even just like someone that's a new follower, someone that comes back every stream. You've got to appreciate it, no matter what.
It's a weird
and also can turn bad.
relationship that forms, and you're not even aware that this person is forming that typically until they're like about to show up.
Sorry, let's take a little moment. See that Christmas tree back there? We're gonna decorate this room for Christmas when it comes time. Sorry, just had to throw that in there.
Up where they do show up.
The gap is hard to manage, which is why most streamers keep a barrier up around the heavy personal stuff.
My sis is dead.
Right, let's try and keep it positive.
Please don't talk about side of my chat, please. This is something I just don't like to hear or talk about, you know?
And you can't really blame them. At the end of the day, streamers are supposed to entertain.
At some point, there has to be a boundary between caring about the people watching and becoming responsible for everything that they bring into the chat.
They become too attached to you, where they see you as an actual friend that they have. So I feel like that is kind of a boundary that you have to set as a streamer. But it's hard to gauge where that line is.
Joe had every reason to draw that same boundary. He'd answered the heavy messages, taken conversations off stream, and learned what could happen when things become too parasocial.
The first 2 times I helped somebody with like issues, they just kept messaging me, and then they like got upset when I stopped messaging them. So it's more so of that issue.
But mental health meant too much to him. Ignoring somebody who might not make it through the night was never a choice he could live with. After those early mistakes, Joe implemented 2 important factors that would eliminate those odd parasocial dynamics from coming into the picture. For starters, he removed any one-on-one interaction. All conversations with chatters were strictly held on stream from the Twitch chat.
I've prepared to go, tired of waiting for things to improve. You are my escape. Thank you, dude. If you're saying you're gonna kill yourself, don't. I know this was 10 minutes ago. I hope you're still here.
And second, but most importantly, he made the pivot from trying to be the help himself and became the middleman.
Fine if you're depressed and you want to come to me for advice, but when it comes to the gravity of seeking an expert is better than seeking Joe Bartolozzi, a
That's true.
TikToker, you know?
At the same time, people shouldn't be going to their favorite content creator for help.
Give them a few encouraging words and push them in the right direction.
I've had not so good thoughts, if you know what I mean, and listening to your advice and others has helped me even during those hard times. If you ever have thoughts, reach out to somebody, genuinely. Go to a therapist, psychiatrist, talk to somebody that can help you.
not the answer. Like, there's only so much I'm able to do as a creator, especially seeing that I don't know the person. So that's why I try to do the charity streams for, like,
I'd like to do one of those when I get to a certain follower level.
AFSP or Trevor Project.
We're doing reactions today.
And it's a charity stream. We raised $2,700, which was matched 3x by the Melinda Bill Gates Foundation. So dub in the chat for that. Goes to a good cause, saving lives.
And for a while, this worked pretty well. While it seems kind of small, Joe's brief but encouraging words were actually making a difference in people's lives.
I've been subbed for a year now, and I want to say thank you for helping me through this past year with having to deal with my grandpa's suicide and my own personal problems. You're definitely my favorite top streamer, and I hope you never stop.
But by the time Joe graduated college, things had started to change. His viewer count climbed to some of the highest in all of streaming, and managing the expectation of that many chatters is a totally different beast.
Like, right now, I average
1000%.
10K. Chat's horrible.
Yeah?
Like, yeah. I gotta lock in. I want to get into the videos. I'm starting to get stressed the f*** out. I'm starting to get stressed the f*** out. I could tell this was going to happen at the start of stream when I got like 9 messages just unloaded onto me.
He did not hang around for that graduation handshake. I know, that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't going to stop for that. He just kept going. Maybe that's how the college just does it, though. Isn't college graduation a little bit different?
Viewers watching, Joe found himself caught between two groups that wanted completely different things from him. Because on one hand, some viewers felt that he wasn't doing enough to help.
I guess even my favorite streamer doesn't care about me. Lame comment. I have 5,000 people in my stream that are spamming right now. I'm also playing a video game, and then I don't respond to you, and you pull this guilt trip here.
But on the other hand, there was a totally different group of viewers that were tired of the stream constantly stopping.
Jesus, dude, I like watching your streams, but when you go on rants like this, that's all you do all the time. That's annoying. Play the game. Do me a favor and never watch me again. Do me a favor and go f*** yourself.
No matter what Joe did, someone felt ignored, and the messages were starting to get more demanding. Early on, people would briefly mention that they were struggling, and Joe would offer a few words of encouragement. Now, they wanted more.
Like, every stream, it's been getting more and more and more and more, like, involved, where people are genuinely asking me to fix their problems. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But the hardest part was figuring out who genuinely needed help.
Doesn't he have
and
a
who
heap
was
of
only
mods?
looking for
Yeah.
attention.
How do you balance keeping everybody
There's only
happy
certain things they ban.
and then also sorting through people who are just doing it for attention?
I mean, that's the struggle. Because I'm a suicide prevention advocate, that is an avenue that a lot of people use to manipulate their way into being noticed or speaking to me on stream. And so, yeah, if there's 10 chats saying they're suicidal, 6 of them are fake. Because I do so much mental health advocacy, the amount of people that come into my chat and fake being suicidal is absurd. I had one chatter that came in and they say, hey, I'm the mother of so-and-so. He took his own life. I just wanted to let you know you were his favorite streamer. I'm sorry that he took his life. I don't really know what to say.
I've seen
I'm
that
sorry.
clip, and I'm pretty sure that one is real. I know he's gotten a lot of fake ones. That is crazy. I don't know how someone would deal with that as a streamer. I don't know. I feel like if it were to happen to you, you would play it out different and think it through different. But that would be crazy, you know. And it just sucks too. That stuff really sucks.
I hope you're all right. I'm sorry for the loss of your son. Ugh.
I know
Come to
that
find
one
out, they
right there
come
was
back a month
real.
later
I'm pretty
and they're
sure.
like, my brother typed that, banned his, blocked him. You're the chatter? I knew that, bro. I'm banning you, man. That's fucking weird as shit.
This leaves Joe stuck making a decision that's difficult to get right.
If I'm being honest, I think a large portion of people that come into my chat and say stuff that's idle are lying. But I have to treat them all as if they're real, because then I could, on an off chance, not take somebody seriously that is serious. And that's the worst thing you could do.
That's true.
Ignoring the wrong message
Yeah,
could
take
have
that stuff
serious
serious.
consequences, but responding to every message was impossible, and the pressure of trying was beginning to wear him down.
I feel bad, and I've talked about this. It's like, I wish I could help, but like sometimes I can't, you know? Like there's only so much I'm able to do as a creator, especially seeing that I don't know the person.
But there's one message that weighs on Joe the most. It's one that he's heard over and over again, that for some viewers, he's the only reason that they're still alive.
I'd say the people saying that he's the only reason they're alive, I would 1,000% say most of those are probably true, because he's enjoyable to watch, you know? And I feel like when you're watching something you're focused on that and everything else, like, you know, if your life's crappy, everything else is just going away and you're enjoying that moment. So I'd say that's probably true. It really sucks.
You were there when my dad passed. You saved me from ending my own life more than anyone should. I've realized so much because of you. I can't thank you enough. You unknowingly have helped me with a lot. My life has gotten a lot better since watching you from your philosophy stuff. Never had a favorite streamer until I watched your streams, and it kind of saved my life, no pressure. I wanted to myself, you saved my life. I did not save your life. You saved your own life. Please get the help you need, though. If I'm the only reason that you stopped, you know, wanting to kill yourself in that moment, you need a lot of help outside of just watching my content.
When you hear some of those stories, how big of a toll does that take on you? Because, like, I don't know, I'm watching through some of their clips, talking to people like this, a lot of the chat is asking, who is checking on Joe?
I mean, I'm starting therapy soon. I'm not saying it's bad to have my videos as, like, something to fall back on to make you feel happier, versus, like, I'm suicidal, your videos are the only thing that's keeping me alive.
Take a second and think about what that actually means for the person receiving it. Somebody just told you that your uploads are load-bearing for their existence.
Don't tell me that. Like, I'm glad I'm able to help, man, but, like, get help. Like, get help. Please.
So what happens if you take a break? What happens if you burn out and quit? On some level, Joe now feels like he has to keep posting, because somewhere out there, somebody's hanging on by his streaming schedule.
There will be people that will, like, come to my chat and they're like, hey, you prevented me from killing myself because I saw one of your videos and it made me laugh. On surface level, that's great. If you're me, now I'm going, oh, if I stop posting, people are going to start killing themselves.
And beyond the pressure, there's the sheer exposure to darkness. Joe's DMs and chat are a constant stream of people's lowest moments. And when you're surrounded by that much pain for that long, it eventually starts to get in.
That's like the one thing is the emotional drain, I guess. Like, I put a lot out.
After every stream, Joe sits there for an hour just coming back down from what the job took out of him.
Like, when I'm done stream, I get off, I literally sit there in, like, silence for maybe an hour. I need, like, time to decompress, just because that is a lot at times. It takes a toll, and I've gotten used to it, but it kind of builds. Like, I'll be good for a month, and then there'll be a week where I'm just, like, not there emotionally, I guess.
Why keep doing it? Every other streamer proved you can just let the messages scroll and the career survives. Joe could put up the full wall tomorrow and nobody could really blame him.
I'm not sitting here acting like I'm some role model, but if people are going through stuff and I recognize that they're watching my content to help them, that I want them to have some sort of guidance of redirection to be better themselves and also better their own mental health in a way that's good for them.
Joe did the math and decided helping people is worth what it costs him.
I enjoy making people happy more than the other aspects of the job. And that's what enables me to deal with this too. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, push through the negative because you make money. I think I push through the negative because I can affect people more positively here than any other job that I could possibly be doing.
But once he saw what his platform could do for people at their lowest, walking away from that stopped being an option he could live with.
Thank you. My mom was diagnosed with cancer about 9 months ago.
Sorry to hear that.
We would watch your videos and streams. We loved your philosophy streams. She also majored in philosophy.
Really?
A week ago, I found out she has
two more days to live. One of the final things we did was watch one of your YouTube videos. Your videos remind me of good memories. She passed away yesterday and you helped me cope. Just wanted to say thank you so much. You helped more than you'll ever know. Oh my God. Yo, that's just gonna make me cry. It's a fucking weird job, dude. It's a weird job in social media. There's a lot of shit, but it's one of the most, like, rewarding experiences. Just to be able to be someone to help other people is something that I want to do. Yeah, the money's good. Yeah, it's fun to play video games and shit. But, like, on a deeper level, dude, being able to make people's days is, like, genuinely what I want to do. And I'm glad that I can.
Oh, wow. Just like that, we ended. Did not expect that whatsoever. What an ending. But, great video. Fantastic editing on that video. Fantastic documentary style. And shout out Joe Bart, man. Respect a lot of what he does. I know he goes through a lot. And I know he does a lot of good. And it would suck to be in that position, you know, of having to go through some of that. But respect to Joe Bart. Shout out to him. Genuine respect for the guy. I know he tries his best, and you can... I mean, that's why people love him. He's just down to earth and legit. So, wow, W video.